Above Ethiopia, the sky is rarely quiet. Hour after hour, freighters and long-haul jet slice across the Horn of Africa, moving urgent cargo and global travelers between continents. What was once empty airspace has become something else entirely. These aircraft are no longer just flying over Ethiopia. More and more, they are descending, transferring, and reconnecting here. Almost unnoticed by the wider world, Addis Ababa has grown into one of Africa's most critical aviation junctions, a place where international routes intersect, and where shaving minutes off a journey can unlock enormous economic value. But aviation has a hard rule it never breaks. A hub can only rise as high as the infrastructure beneath it allows. And Ethiopia's main gateway is reaching that ceiling. Runways are crowded. Terminals are packed. Space for growth is shrinking, hemmed in by time, land, and demand. When a country's global reach depends on a single airport, congestion stops being a scheduling problem and starts becoming a strategic threat. Ethiopia's response is not a patchwork of upgrades, but a bold reset, a decision that could reshape air travel across East Africa. A brand new aviation hub is now taking form. Marketed as the largest airport development ever attempted on the continent, it is being designed at a scale Africa has rarely pursued. This is a Bishoftu International Airport, a project meant to redefine Ethiopia's role in global aviation and push the country toward becoming Africa's air gateway. Before we go deeper, make sure to like this video and subscribe. It's the simplest way to support the channel and helps these stories reach a wider audience. The Bishoftu Airport plan centers on building an entirely new national gateway near Bishoftu, roughly 45 kilometers southeast of Addis Ababa. The location is no accident. Ethiopia sits at one of the world's most valuable geographic crossroads. Europe lies to the north and west. The Middle East and Asia stretch eastward. To the south, Africa's fastest-growing markets continue to expand. Addis Ababa already functions as a natural connector between these regions, and the new airport is being designed from day one to amplify that advantage. The pressure behind this decision comes from success itself. Addis Ababa International Airport has been the foundation of Ethiopian Airlines' global rise and one of the most important transit hubs on the continent. But growth has limits. Passenger volumes are climbing, cargo demand is accelerating, and the airport is straining under runway saturation, peak hour bottlenecks, limited parking space, and terminals stretched to capacity. No matter how efficiently schedules are optimized, physical infrastructure can only stretch so far. When nearly all international connectivity funnels through one facility, congestion threatens to slow the wider economy. Bishoftu is not about prestige or symbolism. It is about continuity. In today's aviation landscape, hubs define power. They influence trade routes, attract investment, and determine which nations become gateways for people and goods. Bishoftu represents Ethiopia's effort to protect its hard-won hub position and push it further, turning a rapidly growing network into a durable continental platform and reinforcing the country's role as a global connector. That ambition shows in the scale of the plan. This is not simply a larger terminal built to relieve pressure. Bishoftu is envisioned as a full-scale aviation system designed to operate among the world's major gateways rather than merely supporting an existing one. The long-term blueprint targets a capacity of up to 110 million passengers annually. 4 runways are planned to maximize aircraft movements, ease peak hour congestion, and maintain resilience during maintenance or disruptions. On the ground, the numbers are just as striking. Extensive taxiways, vast aprons, and space for roughly 270 aircraft stands would allow the airport to manage dense waves of wide-body passenger flights alongside dedicated cargo operations. Passenger terminals are expected to focus on speed and flow, built for rapid transfers, modern security screening, efficient immigration processing, and baggage systems designed for short connection times. That efficiency is essential for any true hub. And cargo is not treated as an afterthought. Freight sits at the core of the master plan. Dedicated cargo terminals, logistics zones, warehouse complexes, and cold chain facilities are designed to support perishables and pharmaceuticals. Beyond the runways and terminals, the vision expands even further, incorporating hotels, commercial services, support facilities, and industrial logistics parks. This is why Bishoftu is not simply an airport. It is a construction of a future-proof national gateway and an economic corridor built at continental scale. One of the most strategic elements lies beyond the airport fence itself. The project is expected to spark the development of a full aerotropolis, transforming the surrounding area into a powerful commercial and logistics ecosystem. In successful global hubs, airports evolve into economic nuclei. Cargo, capital, talent, and services cluster nearby because proximity saves time, and time drives profit. Bishoftu's airport city concept reflects a deliberate strategy to turn air connectivity into an engine for sustained growth. Logistics parks, freight support industries, high-capacity warehouses, distribution centers, export cold chains, and time-critical services are all part of the vision. On the passenger side, the ecosystem typically includes hotels, conference centers, retail districts, and office hubs that allow global business to operate directly at the gateway. Over time, these environments often attract light manufacturing and high-value industries that depend on rapid international shipping. This is why the airport city is sometimes described as a real megaproject hidden inside the airport itself. It multiplies impact, creates jobs, draws investment, and extends economic benefits far beyond the terminal walls. Building something of this scale demands more than engineering expertise. It requires financing strong enough to carry a multi-year, multi-phase effort. The Bishoftu International Airport is widely reported to carry an estimated cost of around $12.5 billion, a figure that reflects the full scope of a global hub, not just terminal buildings. That total includes runways, taxiways, aprons, navigation systems, air traffic control, cargo zones, utilities, fuel infrastructure, access corridors, and the foundational works needed to support an airport city operating at industrial scale. To manage this, Ethiopia is pursuing a blended financing model rather than relying solely on public funds. Ethiopian Airlines is expected to contribute roughly 30%, with the remainder coming from lenders and development partners. The structure is designed to share risk while keeping the project aligned with the airline's long-term hub strategy. The African Development Bank has also been linked to early support, signaling the project's regional importance. Construction formally moved forward with a groundbreaking ceremony in January 2026. Development is expected to unfold in phases, with major completion often projected around 2030, followed by expansion toward full capacity in later stages. But no megaproject is defined only by its vision. It is defined by the challenges it must survive. From an engineering standpoint, building a new hub airport demands enormous earthworks, complex runway systems, heavy-load pavements, advanced drainage, and resilient utilities capable of uninterrupted operation. Supply chains must remain stable, delivering cement, steel, asphalt, specialized equipment, and skilled labor at relentless pace. Beyond physical construction, systems integration adds another layer of risk. Air traffic control, navigation aids, communications networks, fuel storage, and power systems must operate as a single, flawless organism. A failure in one area can ripple across the entire airport. There are also social and political realities that accompany projects of this magnitude. Large airports often require extensive land acquisition, resettlement planning, and environmental management. If communities feel excluded or undercompensated, resistance can grow quickly. Financial scrutiny is inevitable as well, especially when forecasts are ambitious and the risk of overruns or delays is real. When projects become national symbols, transparency and accountability matter as much as concrete and steel. Bishoftu's success will depend not only on what gets built, but on how disruption is managed and whether promised economic benefits are delivered without undermining social stability, and that is what makes this project so consequential. Airports usually reflect where a nation is today. Bishoftu is designed to reflect where Ethiopia believes it will be tomorrow. A future where connectivity is not just a service, but leverage, where speed, reliability, and scale determine who controls trade lanes, investment flows, and global access. If the vision holds, Ethiopia would no longer be simply a stopover on long intercontinental journeys. It would become a decision point, a place where airlines route traffic by choice, where cargo moves because efficiency demands it, and where global networks bend around a purpose-built hub rather than passing overhead. For Africa as a whole, the implications are just as significant. A continent long dependent on external gateways could see one of its own hubs rise to genuine global prominence, one that competes not on novelty, but on performance, location, and operational depth. Of course, ambition alone does not guarantee success. History is filled with grand infrastructure plans that struggled under their own weight. The difference here will come down to discipline, governance, and execution over years, not months. Every runway poured, every system integrated, every financing milestone met will quietly determine whether Bishoftu becomes a cornerstone of global aviation or a cautionary tale. But if Ethiopia delivers on what it has set in motion, the result could be transformative. A gateway that reshapes how Africa connects to the world. A hub that turns geography into sustained advantage. And an airport that does far more than move planes. It moves an entire region forward. In the decades ahead, when aircraft ascend toward the Horn of Africa, they may no longer be simply crossing Ethiopian skies. They may be aiming straight for the center of it.I in the end. Bishoftu is not just an airport. It is a long-term national strategy. If it succeeds, it could place Ethiopia at the center of continental connectivity, shaping air routes, logistics flows, and regional influence for decades to come.